You may remember we talked about this, I think, yesterday, maybe the day before as well. So, new research, right, that has come out, a new study talking about this idea where immigrants coming here, of course, after Bill 96 and mandated the new immigrants coming to Quebec learn French within 6 months of arriving here if they wanted to continue receiving services in English. That new study, commissioned, by the way, and this is worth mentioning, by the government itself, and then apparently kept hidden, shows how nearly impossible that requirement would be. GARINE Papazinian-Zohrabian is an associate professor in educational psychology at the University of Montreal, involved in conducting that research with the help of her students. She's on the line right now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I want to make sure I'm not misstating this, right? Your study, this study, showed, am I right to use the words nearly impossible for getting people to learn a language like French inside of 6 months? Is that what you concluded?
Yes, I think that it's important to say that in the bill, the proposition of the bill is not, they are not saying that people must learn French in 6 months. They are saying that the state will provide services in other languages than French within the first 6 months, and after that, all the services will be in French.
Right.
So people must find a way to communicate in French with the system. So if you don't have the money to have interpreters, or you don't have access to interpreters, you will have problems having access to services. So this is the problem with the law, and automatically we all know that it's impossible to learn a language within a foreign language, even in a year sometimes. So after 6 months, the immigrants generally will have difficulties, but some immigrants, and we are talking about refugees and asylum seekers who are fleeing their countries because of the wars and genocides and collective violence they are living, or persecutions. So they come to Canada and to Quebec just to be in a safe place, safe country. And at first, and my research was my research aimed the assessment of psychosocial needs of refugees and asylum seekers and immigrants who come and who are very, very vulnerable, and they must take the time to resettle, to learn French and integrate. And one of my results, my main results, was that they need more time. They need more time in order to settle. They need more time to learn the language, to know the system, and to be able to integrate to this new society. So this was my research, and it was mandated by the Ministry of Immigration, and I presented the report in April 2021. And a month after that, when the bill was proposed, I expressed my astonishment and my surprise, because it was against the recommendation of the report, because the recommendation was that people need more time, more support, and a more flexible system. And what is proposed is more rigid, less time, and that's why I expressed my indignation.
So they sat, as you're laying out the timetable here, they sat on your report. You said April of 2021. That's last year. And then they chose to not only take your report and do nothing, but in fact go back to their original plan.
Yes. The plan, and the plan is to reinforce French as a common public language, and I think that we understand that, and a lot of immigrants understand also the necessity. But the nuance is that some immigrants don't choose Quebec necessarily. They choose to just they choose a safe country,
right,
where there is no war. And sometimes they come to Canada. They don't even know that they don't choose Canada. They don't choose Quebec. They don't know that everything is in French in Quebec. So the adjustment takes more time. And sometimes we are talking about people, and in my research, all the participants were immigrant learners who had a lot of learning difficulties and sometimes low achievement in education because of wars and lack of access to education. For example, Afghani women who didn't have access to education, or Syrian refugees who were obligated to stop their academic path in order to come to a safe, better country. Some of the participants were in refugee camps where they didn't have access to education. So if somebody comes and he or she doesn't even write his or her own mother tongue, mother language, so learning French, it will take time. So in that sense, we know that with this law, an important number of immigrants and refugees and asylum seekers will be in very difficult situation because they will not be able to have access to services.
Crucial services. Yeah, crucial services that they need. I mean, I read that this was an in-depth study of 58 people, and like you described so well, so many of them facing huge obstacles, having, fled persecution, lived through trauma in their home country, and then this adds to their stress in terms of already integrating and finding a place to live, potentially a place to work. What I would like to know from you, given that the government ostensibly kept this a secret. Not only did they not do anything with your findings, they chose to ignore them, they also did not make the report public. It is only known to us now because of the access to information. How do you feel now that the information is coming out?
Yes, it was when I signed the contract with the ministry, it was clear that as a professor at the university and a researcher, I have the right to diffuse my results in academic context, in conferences. I can write scientific articles, but the information will stay in a more academic environment. In the conferences, so researchers will read it, but not the population. When I read about the bill, the project of the Bill 96, I called the ministry and I told them that I cannot stay silent, so I will talk about it. And that's why I began to talk about it. And they knew that there is a contradiction between all my recommendations and the certain articles of the bill of Bill 1996. So,
can I ask? Did they try? You said you checked with them first, as was your right to. Did they try to convince you not to do this?
No. I have. Because at the ministry I collaborated with very good people who did their job, who collaborated with me and who really participated in the success of the research. So I really am thankful to all the people in the ministry who collaborated. And I think that some decisions are taken perhaps by higher instances. Okay. But frankly, I am very coherent with myself, because from the beginning I said that I will talk about it, because if the report is not public, and the only way to inform the population of the results of this research is through academic publications or my participation to, for example, the media and talking to journalists.
So now that it is being talked about so widely, do you have more hope that some of your recommendations may be taken into account?
I think that probably, and that was something that the minister Roland Barrette was saying all the time, that it will be on the politique linguistique, the policy that is going to be written now that the bill is adopted and voted for, and they will write a public policy regarding the language, and they will create a Francisation Québec, a center for the French learning, etc. So I hope that they will take into consideration all my recommendations there, but at the same time, nothing guarantees that, and that's why I'm giving all these interviews to journalists and to you and to Benjamin Schingler and Rimal Khoury, because I think that it's important to make the government understand, whichever, we don't know, we have elections, we don't know who will come, but the next government people who are going to write the public policy regarding the language and who are going to create this Center of French Francisation Québec, they must take into consideration not only my research results, but a lot of researches that were conducted in Quebec and in the Montreal region. I have colleagues who work in this field. I am not alone. We are a collective of researchers. We are talking about all the researches we conducted during all these last 10 and 15 years regarding difficulties people have, immigrants and refugees and asylum seekers have difficulty in the access to important services, health services and education and social security and social services. So I think that we must continue to talk about this subject and hoping that at least, even if the bill was voted and adopted, at least that the coming steps will take into consideration all the results of all the researches that were conducted in Quebec regarding the subject of integration of immigrants and refugees.
So we're out of time. I just want to ask one last thing, and I don't know if this is out of bounds or not. When you said after your study was, of course, filed and presented, and the government went ahead and did what they wanted to do anyway and not take into account what you had said, were you able to ask someone why not or not?
I didn't ask, no. Okay. I didn't ask, but I know that some journalists ask, and they have the answer they are having that it's for administrative reasons.
Okay.
So,
well,
no comment on that.
No, I understand. I just wanted to know. We very much appreciate your time. And by the way, congratulations on doing what you did, on coming up with this information.
Important
Hopefully,
work.
as you said, in future, politicians will take this into account. So we thank you for your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
GARINE Papazinian-Zohrabian, and yes, that's what the study says. It is nearly impossible to assume someone can learn French at that level within 6 months of getting here. I think she made a great case.
I agree. And in order to receive crucial information for them to be able to build a life here.
Good.
Anyway.
Maybe the government's going to have to keep talking about this and explaining this. I'm hoping it doesn't go away.
Me too.